guys and welcome. So here we are at the Orellana Lake, one of the biggest reservoirs in the south of Spain, in Extremadura. We're at the beginning of spring and the fish are moving a lot, so that's why we're using this big boat and this big engine to find them. So we're doing basically boat fishing, putting the rods out with our boat. That's why I'm using this 10 feet rod and the power aero reel. How I do all my boat fishing is what I'm gonna show you right now. So I'm using a main braid line, then the last 10-15 meters of fluorocarbon to avoid losing the fish because of the rocks. It's a fluorocarbon in 0.70 millimeters, 0.60 millimeters, and it works quite good with these big rocks. I'm using a lead clip system with a 200 grams green lead on it and a blowback rig with a little snowman on it with a LM94 20 millimeters boilie with a 50 millimeters pop-up on it. And on the ground it looks like a little crayfish because it stays like a little snowman. So I think it's really similar to the natural food that the carps eat here, and that's why I think it's so effective. Yeah, when I am fishing on long distance, first of all I use a boat to put my rods in. In this case we're using a gas motor, a big one. I also like to use 9 or 10 feet rods like this one. This is a 10-foot TX4 rod. I use them with both, especially because when the line got tangled on the top of my rod, it's very easy when I'm alone. I got here with the boat, I can reach the top of it with no problem. So yeah, besides that, one of the tips I would give to people that start fishing with boat is never take your rig on the rod directly. I always put it here, and when I am on my spot, then I put it. Why do I do so? It's just because when you are getting into the boat, it's easy that your hook, boom, lands in your boat, and then yeah, you can have a big problem very fast. When you're just about to put your rod in, it's very important that you move a bit the rod to the front and then leave it sink. If you just leave it sink like vertically, it's very easy that the rig gets twisted. But if you do this little movement and then leave it sink, the rig will fall like that, and then it will never get tangled. If you're fishing with braided line that normally swims a bit more than monofilament, you should use back leads. This is a 60-gram back lead. When I'm going back on my way and I'm close to the shore, I hang it on my main line, then I put the plastic rubber over it, and it will sink my whole line, and that way we will not catch other boats passing by. That's very important. And regarding to this, I have a story to tell you guys. Once I was fishing here a few years ago and I was not using back leads. I thought I got a bite, and on that moment I see a bass boat passing by my rods. My line got tangled, but it didn't cut the line. So yeah, basically my rod flew into the water in it was so quick, everything, and yeah, I was a kid, I was crying and I lost my favorite rod. So if you don't want you to happen that, you should use back leads. So another tip that I can give you when you place your rod, many guys use some kind of markers, but in this case, fishing in such a big distance, if my fish gets tangled with the marker, I will probably lose the fish. So I'm gonna look for a visual marker. In this case, in that shot, you can see over there 2 white big rocks, and I just found a little bank of seaweeds right there. So we're gonna place the rods just in front of the seaweeds, having the visual reference of those 2 big rocks. So in case we got a bite, we can come, put the rod again, and we will be fishing in exactly the same spot without getting tangled with any marker. And we are fishing close to this to these big rocks, because here downstairs there are more big rocks and all the crabs hide and live there. So the carps pass by here to look for the natural food that are the crabs. So the most important thing is that your rig, when you lay it, that is in the direction of where your rod is positioned. So if we are fishing over there, I will put the rig like this or on the side, but then the rig has to be in the same direction where your rod is showing.